Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Deconstructing Narcissism. I just got out of work and decided to make a video on a topic that I think is pretty relevant to my current situation, as well as many other people's situations who have, especially people who have experienced really bad narcissistic abuse over many years, and that's gaslighting. I wanted to talk about the manipulation tactic that narcissists use called gaslighting. This is a really insidious and brutal tactic where if you have ever gotten into a relationship with a narcissist, or if you grew up with narcissistic family members, this is something that all narcissists will do, pretty much without exception. This could take forms in many ways. This could be twisting the truth of a situation that you know to be true that happened, but the narcissist twists it into something that it's not. This could be hiding your things, your personal belongings, like my mother used to do. She started, I want to say, the very first memory of my mother hiding my things was around 5 or 6 years old, when she hid some cards I had. I think it was Pokemon cards or Yu-Gi-Oh cards or something, but she had hidden some cards of mine that I had laying around the house, and she blamed it on the neighbor, and the neighbor never took them because the neighbor, the kid that I was playing with that day, had showed me his pockets. He had nothing. But there's a variety of ways that a narcissist will gaslight you. They will change the environment around you to make it seem like you're losing your mind, you're going crazy. Maybe they'll go into your room and they will mess up the sheets or the blankets, or maybe they'll open all the drawers, and maybe they'll put things inside your drawers that weren't there before, or maybe they'll mess with your car, or they will take your money or move your things to another part of the house or somewhere. There's something along those lines. There's a lot of ways a narcissist can gaslight you. They can twist, like I said, recollection of events. They can twist events to suit their narrative, even if you believe to be true, or even if you know to be true, I should say, that these events happened a certain way, and the narcissist can come and deny your reality of events. And normally people people who don't grow up with narcissistic people or narcissistic parents in their life, they're not going to put up with this stuff. They're not going to put up with something like this. But those who are more forgiving and empathetic are more prone to let a narcissist in their life, and people are more prone and empathetic to let a narcissist in their life without even knowing it. I mean, especially if you've been primed from birth, by your narcissistic parents or relatives, then you're primed to take the abuse, and you're primed to blame yourself, because that's what the narcissist sets you up for in the beginning. They're looking for a target that they can break down and abuse and bend to their will. It's with the narcissist, it's always about figuring out who is the weakest target within their vicinity and who they believe they'll be able to manipulate and break down and control the easiest. If you have a strong will and you're not most likely to break down, and you're not easily controlled, then they're not going to pick that person. They're looking for someone who's weak-minded. They're looking for somebody, not to say that I'm not saying that any of you guys are weak-minded. They're looking for somebody who's more so empathetic. Weak-minded meaning you're more easily able to be controlled due to your empathy. The narcissist can use your empathy to manipulate you easier. I'm not saying empathy is a bad thing, but your empathy, high empathy levels of empathy can easily be used against you by the narcissist, and that's exactly what the narcissist looks for. But this gaslighting happens over many months, many days, many months, many years, and like I said, it can take the form of various things: denying your reality, moving your things, changing the environment to suit their narrative that you're X, Y, and Z, or crazy, or that you need to go to a mental hospital like my mom did. She would change the environment around me, and then blame me for it, saying that I just don't remember where I put my things, or I just don't remember doing certain things because I have a bad memory. And I've never had a bad memory. I've always had a very good memory. Now I have a bad memory because of, what she's done. I say they, as in my parents. But this is gaslighting is the most insidious thing the narcissists do, because you don't realize it's happening until it's too late, until you've gone nuts, until you're like ready to check yourself into a mental hospital. I had blamed myself for many years for the things that were happening. You're just forgetful, you're just this, you're just that, you're just not remembering. My parents would be, you need to take some responsibility, you need to be an adult, until I eventually caught my mother and my father doing it. But that's a whole different story. I'm going to upload an old video that I made regarding, everything I've been through with them. One of the first videos that I made on this channel, but I'm getting off topic here. So gaslighting happens over many months, many years, and it warps the brain to live through what's called the amygdala. You're supposed to be living a normal healthy brain is supposed to be living the majority of their life through the hippocampus region, or the hippocampus area of their brain, I should say. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a neuroscientist or anything. I'm not a neurologist, I should say. But I've done enough research to know that you're supposed to be living. You're supposed to be living the majority of your life through what's known as the hippocampus. Hippocampus is responsible for short-term memory, is responsible for learning as well as other things. What happens is with the narcissist, when you're constantly being gaslighted by the narcissist and abused by the narcissist, your body goes into what's called fight or flight mode. Your nervous system is shot. Your brain is constantly stuck in fight or flight, and you have trouble processing information because you are constantly trying to do things when your amygdala is activated. Like every single time your amygdala activates, it takes over your hippocampus region of the brain. Eventually, I should say. So the more the amygdala is used, the larger it gets, and the less the hippocampus is used, the smaller it gets. So as you grow up, you're living in fear all the time. Your hippocampus is shrinking and your amygdala is getting larger because you are constantly living in fear of what the narcissist is going to do next. So that really affects that affects short-term memory, and that affects long-term memory as well. That could very well be a reason, if any of you are going through this like I am right now, as to why you're forgetting your things, why you're having trouble with concentration, memory issues, why you're dealing with brain fog. These are all things that happen when you've been with a narcissist for many years or many months. Is that you have been living in fight or flight for so long that your hippocampus has been put essentially on the back burner, and your amygdala is what you're essentially using every single time you try to do something or remember something. Is that your amygdala has outgrown, or I should say has grown larger than the hippocampus. Your hippocampus has shrunk and your amygdala has grown due to your hippocampus not being used as much. So, and again, I'm probably not spot on with this. This is just, again, I'm not a neurologist. This is just what I've researched. But there is a solution to this, and the solution is you need to leave the narcissist. You need to get far away as possible from the narcissist. That's the only solution, because if you allow them to keep on gaslighting you, you are going to end up doing more damage in the long run to your brain. Because the narcissistic abuse literally does brain damage. It damages your brain. I mean, there have been studies showing that narcissistic abuse damages your brain. It shrinks your hippocampus, and it enlarges your amygdala due to always being in fight or flight mode all the time. You're not supposed to be in fight or flight mode all the time. Remember, fight or flight mode is reserved for, when you're being chased by a bear, or when you're in an imminent threat of danger. So not only that, when you're in fight or flight, besides the short-term memory problems, as well as the learning problems, when you're in fight or flight mode, your body is also taking a hit physically. Not only mentally, but physically. Your body is completely and utterly, it's shot. You don't have the energy to do normal things like normal people would, because you've been in fight or flight for so long. Your body has been secreting cortisol and epinephrine for so many years or so many months that you do not have any energy left to give, because you've been living in that mode for so long. You are not supposed to be living in that mode for so long. So I hope that kind of explains it a little bit further, is that the longer you live in fight or flight mode, the harder it's going to get away from the narcissist. Because then, I mean, it's literally, narcissists are energy vampires, and chronic stress from the narcissist will affect you will affect you mentally, will affect you physically, and I'm living proof of that. I mean, I barely made it through work today, and if you don't believe me, you can do your own research. But and I might have been wrong in some areas, but I'm telling you guys that I'm living proof that if you do not get away from the narcissist, you will be stuck in fight or flight mode, and you will be struggling physically as well as mentally. I mean, the narcissist takes everything from you. They take your mental health, they take your physical health, they take everything from you, your sanity. But what I've told you guys is real. I mean, this is what will happen if you continue staying with the narcissist. So, if you suspect somebody is a narcissist, if you suspect they're gaslighting you, if you suspect that you're going crazy, you're probably not going crazy. You're probably in the presence of a crazy person. Okay. The crazy person is going to tell you that you're crazy. So just remember that. The crazy person, the narcissist, is going to isolate you from your friends and family in order to have more control over you. I mean, that's the whole that's the whole how should I say that's the way the narcissist does it. The narcissist has to isolate you from friends and family, because if they let you have friends and family, people around that care about you, then somebody's going to say something. People are going to support you. People are going to try to get you out of that situation. They're going to tell you from a third-person perspective that something is wrong, and the narcissist can't have that. That's why the narcissist has to isolate you from your friends and family. So, that's a red flag right there. But I'm going kind of into a different thing. But again, guys, this is essentially why gaslighting is so deadly, because the longer you stay with a narcissist, the more damage you actually do to your brain. You are literally doing brain damage by staying with a narcissist. And I promise you guys that it is still affecting me mentally to this day. I still lose my things to this day. I cannot remember people's names. It affects me in every single way. It affects me financially, affects my learning, affects me getting a better paying job. It has really done a number on my life. So if any of you believe right now that you're in a relationship with a narcissist, or if you believe you're being gaslit by a narcissist, then you need to get out. Because it's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse. And the narcissist is depending on your empathy for you to stay and for you to try to fix the relationship that was never there. So, I'm about halfway home right now. Like I said, I'm just driving home from work. I hope this video has given you all food for thought. And until next time, guys, stay safe out there, stay narcissist free, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Take care.